Well, good evening and welcome to our Conservation Board meeting of December 14th, 2021. I'm Jim Olmsted, and we have with us tonight Roseanne Cohen, Daniel Moore, Bert Gorton, Noel Schlageter, Jeff Bartocci, Paul Sugnut, Pat Schickler, and we also have with us tonight Catherine Dubreck from our town planning department. So I'll ask that we begin by approving the minutes of October 5th. Did anyone see anything there that needs correction? Hearing no one's objections, I didn't see anything that needed correction. So if there's a motion to approve?
So moved.
And hearing no objections, we thank you, Catherine. Looks like they're in good order.
Thank you.
Do we have any communications coming to the attention of the board tonight?
Yes, just two quick things. The first is a follow-up to a discussion point from last meeting about joining the New York State Association of Conservation Commissions. We put that on a list that the town board has of all the organizations that the town is a part of. So they'll be approving that resolution for all the organizations, including the conservation one, sometime in January. So we'll be a member of that. And there's also, if anyone's interested, on Thursday of this week from 12 to 2 p.m., there's a free Zoom webinar on, so it's like some case studies of folks around the country who they work for towns that have banned or are regulating gas-powered leaf blowers and gas-powered landscaping equipment. I don't have the email in front of me with the invite, but I can forward that if anyone's interested in attending. It's free, so if you're free from 12 to 2 this Thursday, could be interesting.
We, of course, go ahead, Pat.
Oh, I'll see if I don't have anything going on. If I can fit it in, I'd
Yeah, I'll
sign up.
definitely send that
I
up.
like my leaf blower.
So we, of course, as an advisory board, might have an opinion on that, but obviously we don't have decision-making powers, so that's going to be obviously up to the town board to
Right.
decide whether they want to take a stand on that.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone want to express an opinion about gasoline-powered leaf blowers, which are very annoying if you happen to be the neighbor, but very helpful if you happen to be the one using it?
I don't have one.
So I guess I don't personally have an opinion. We have a lot of leaves in this area. And I temper my conservation opinions with practicality.
Ditto.
There were 5 of those blowers going next door to us this afternoon.
Yeah.
Some
Right.
commercial guy was in there cleaning up the guy's yard.
So anything else that is being brought to the attention of the board, Catherine?
Not for communications. I have
Okay.
a couple ideas for 2022, but we can put that in the new business item.
With respect to ongoing projects, do you have updates for us?
Yes. Last time I shared an update that Simply Crepes was on hold. There was like some sort of disagreement with the property owners or project folks involved, but they're back on track. So hopefully soon they'll open and we can get our crepes.
Where is that going to be?
It's on Bay Road by the Salvatores over there.
It's
by the
opposite
Wegmans.
Eastway Wegmans.
Yeah.
It used to be a diamond or a jewelry store.
I think so, yeah. So it'll be cool to see the transformation there. The Starbucks on 250 is open now, so that's right near the Dunkin' Donuts on 250 by like Monte Elbon and that main intersection, so that's open. And then we have like the big three mixed-use district projects. They're all tabled right now, but just an update on Highland Estates, which Pat and Roseanne had a board report for a couple months ago. They did submit some revised plans. They're not crazy different. They're mostly just like lot line adjustments that staff is still reviewing. But there was a comment about this pond from that board report that says possible future pond. And we did get clarification that if they put a pond there, it would be aesthetic. It would not be a stormwater pond. So it would just look pretty. But there's no like yay or nay on that for sure yet. They also had an archaeologic study or survey done to see if there was any culturally sensitive resources on that property. And the survey was completed and they found nothing. So when staff has the full report, we can definitely share that out. We just have an executive summary right now that says they did some soil testing and walked the property and did all sorts of other stuff that they do for those surveys, and they didn't find any important resources there. So we can share that. And the next project is Pathstone, which is, we're still working on getting updated plans. Arbors, which Bert and Paul did their board report on. We just got updated plans last Thursday, I believe, just before planning board. So we're still working on reviewing all that stuff. But once we've looked at it, we'll definitely share an update on the new stuff that they've submitted. And then there's a couple new admin applications, so just like single family home or lot line shifts under an acre, so that's nothing exciting. There will also be, there's an application in for January planning board meeting, which is for, it's a sketch application that would be for 1800 Empire. This is the bargain outlet. There's an applicant who would like to like split this property and put a Taco Bell right here on this like parking lot. So it would, there's a Taco Bell somewhere right down the street from that location.
What is the major street again?
They want to put it on Empire, right, sort of like right where Empire and Creek meet,
Oh,
right next to the bargain outlet.
Didn't there used to be one there?
There's one that's down the street. I don't want to waste everyone's time trying to find it. I don't remember the address, but in theory, they would, if this was approved, they would tear that Taco Bell, or sorry, they would move from that Taco Bell location because they lease the property, and then they would build one here, and they would own it. But there's some.
there's an Arby's near there, isn't there?
Yep. Well, it's like a Goodwill donation center now, but
Oh,
yes.
okay,
it's
that's,
where-
okay, yeah.
Yep, right where Arby's was, and they're building the Chipotle right around here. There's some staff questions on entrances because they would like to have an entrance off of Creek. Actually, let me just bring up the sketch. So, 1 second, let me find it real quick.
Baytown has an exit onto Creek, going through the back of some of the buildings there. There's an exit onto Creek. So I don't know where it would be in relation.
Okay, so let me zoom in more. Delta Sonic is over here to the left. There's Charlie's, Arby's old building would be up here in the top right, where it's
Yep.
like now it's Goodwill. Chipotle is right, like in front of it, and then this middle area is where they would like to put the Taco Bell building. So Bargain Outlet would remain, and then Taco Bell would be this small piece of the property, and there would be an entrance off of Empire, and then they propose an entrance off of Creek, which staff had some questions on how the line, like queuing up, if it would back up on Creek, that's problematic. If people are trying to make left turns, there's other like parking lots across the street that could get in the way. So this is just a sketch plan, but just an FYI that this is floating around there.
Can you back out just a little bit and show us where Tim Hortons is in relation to all of this?
Yes. I believe Tim Hortons would be up or down over here. But
It's not on the right side. It should be on the same side as, because that V is going Empire and Creek, right? Yeah.
1786. Okay. So then, oh, I see. It'd be up here.
That might be it.
But I'll bring it up here. I might have my directions confused.
Just,
1786.
if you could, just in that triangle, yeah, just kind
Oh,
of
it's
march us down through the businesses there, if you would.
Okay. Oops. So Delta Sonic, Charlie's up here, 1838, where it says 1838 would be Chipotle, and then Tim Hortons.
Has Chipotle's opened?
I am not sure. I don't think so.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I don't think so. So that would be up here, and then Google says Tim Hortons is down right underneath the big white building, and then as you go down more, there's like
Yeah.
apartments, and if you go up, then there's Baytown's over here,
And
Where's Plank off of this? Further down?
Yeah.
So Plank would be, I think, down.
Okay, there it is.
okay.
And so it's basically smack dab in the middle of.
Jeff, isn't it, that whole area is very congested with traffic, and I certainly don't have any statistical evidence, but it seems like there's always some sort of an accident around there.
Yeah, that sounds
I mean,
right.
it was just closed off recently.
They would be doing a traffic study. I believe we had an email inquiry about what other traffic studies were done on projects in the area. So we had the Chipotle one. But yeah, if you'd like to do a board report, we'd certainly give it to the planning board. But I know it's pretty impervious and.
Well, traffic wouldn't be in our realm anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, I
Yeah,
don't think there's
that's
any
true.
thing conservation-wise. It's just, I live right between
Right
Plank and Embry off in that area, so I'm very familiar. Is there a drive or entrance for Chipotle off of Creek?
I don't think
Was
so.
that the plan, were
Let
there plans
me
for that?
Bring that up really quick.
Yeah, I think, Catherine, didn't you say that they're wanting to have both ingress and egress for both Creek and Empire?
Yes, that's what they want to do, but not sure how the state and the county feel about that. But
As Pat said earlier, if you exit from the Baytown Plaza and you want to make the left turn onto Creek, that's a very problematic area. And
Yeah.
that's going to be very close to this location. So while traffic is not in our domain, it certainly is a concern, I think.
It looks like Chipotle has one, but
Wasn't that the bank property before?
Yeah.
So they
Yes.
had entrances on both streets.
Yeah,
Already? Okay.
There were entrances off of Empire and also Creek Street.
that's true.
oh, yep, existing full access to remain. So yes, there are two, not one.
And you're talking about the Taco Bell?
Chipotle.
You're talking about Chipotle?
Just as,
Okay.
as a reference.
Okay, so then that would be this, if they got Taco Bell, then that would be another,
Yes. So it'd be in here. But this will be on the January planning board agenda, so stay tuned for what the planning board says. This is just for sketch, so still in the preliminary phases. And one other project update is that we have another application for Bramble Ridge, which if I can find it. One moment. Okay, so this is part of the larger subdivision. At this time, so this is off, it's Apollonia Way, which I believe is off Atlantic. At this time, they just want to create these two lots, so 9C3 and 9C2. They're not looking to construct anything on these two lots at this time. But there was a board report actually done on this Bramble Ridge subdivision in 2003. So this has been a lengthy project. Let me just find that one. It's a pretty short board report. Oops.
Who did it?
You. And
It's a good one.
Bob Knauer.
It's gotta be.
So one of the comments was that property owners should be made aware of the open space program. And one of the conditions that staff is looking at before this is approved is putting up stakes or like little signposts around where the conservation easement is. So the future property owners know that this is in a conservation easement, which that would go with this suggestion number 2 on the previous 2003 board report. But this has not been approved yet. This is tabled. We're waiting for the applicant and the engineering firm to respond to PRC comments, which are pretty significant. We'd like to see a full SWIP done because this is part of a larger project. It's not just these two lots. It's the whole subdivision. So we don't want to just piece it out and have each part be small and not needing a SWIP. So we want the whole thing to have a SWIP. But that's been tabled. So that was one of our December applications. I think that's it. Updates.
Could I jump back briefly to the Taco Bell?
Sure, yeah.
You mentioned the queue.
Yep.
Concerns about the queue backing up onto Creek Street. When they're doing their review, would they consider looking at the current queue at the Taco Bell on Empire? Because I have noticed driving by, at dinner hour, how they do have a long line. Of course, it's not backing up into Empire, but there's bigger property there, so they could get some idea of what the
Yeah.
current measurement is.
We could include that as a PRC comment and have them look into that because my first thought was personally just, I remember, I don't live in Greece, but I remember how things were when Chick-fil-A first opened and they were queuing out until like 104 and it was a big backup issue, so we don't want that to happen
Yeah.
here. It's such a small
I mean,
area.
being an established business, I don't know that they'll have a big draw when they, any more than
True.
usual, but they seem to currently be very busy, in a time when a lot of restaurants aren't being, aren't seeing commerce. There's, like, wow, there's a lot of people at Taco Bell. So,
Yeah.
Are they having a drive-through there?
Yes.
Is that what that,
Yep, there would be a drive-through. They would have several more parking spots than exist on the property right now. And then they would have a mobile order only line, I believe. So if you order in advance and then you go to the property and you say on your app, I'm here, then they know to start making your food. So I believe that's a separate part of the drive-through too. But yes, there would be a drive-through.
because Chipotle seems, okay, so they've got, entrance onto Creek, but I don't think of them as more of a drive-through, they're more maybe going in to eat or pick up versus Taco Bell that is, a lot of their commerce. It's drive-through.
Yes. Make sure to bring that up at PRC.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. I appreciate the updates.
You're welcome.
We have on our agenda talking about 2022 and what we might envision as community engagement projects for us. You sent us something on urban forestation.
Yes.
I looked at that, and I think urban is the key there. Virtually everybody who's participating in that project is, in fact, a city. And we are, of course, a town.
True.
And we're a town that fortunately has pretty good tree cover, and I think we've got pretty good, we won't call them policies, will we?
Suggestions.
But
they'd be
we will
guided.
call them guidelines for tree preservation. Some of us would like to see those guidelines become policy. That might be something we could talk about during 2022. We're going to need town board support to make it policy.
True.
But we do at least have guidelines, and we've done a number of tree giveaways and shrub giveaways, and we may want to consider continuing that. We paused because the level of interest was declining with the years. Does anybody have any thoughts about whether we want to bring that program back to life for 2022, or?
When was the last time we did one?
I think it must be about 5 years now.
I'd say go for it. It's been 5 years. See what we get out of it. Maybe it's something we do every 5 years.
And Jeff can take lead this year.
Yeah, that would be good. So,
Because Bert, you always worked your tail off.
Yeah, I see Bert's chin falling down to his knees there, down there.
More than happy to help.
yeah,
Volunteer, but.
Well, I think the key on that, Jim, is, we'll get the county stuff. I think it usually comes in February. You folks will get the county, and, maybe one consideration is looking at that list and making it more of a shrub giveaway necessarily than trees, but let's take a look at what they've got, because it always seemed the last 1 or 2 times we did it, shrubs went pretty fast. What we had left over were trees, the
Yeah.
tree sprigs.
Yeah, we wound up putting them out in Channing.
Yeah.
The
So
Boy Scouts
we've,
did it, I think.
so I think it's probably something that would be worth taking a look at when the information comes through
sure.
I work with Bert on
at
it.
the board meeting.
Bert will work with you.
So let's wait and get the information and kind of go
Yeah,
from there.
that's fine.
I like the idea of the shrubs
But
as well.
there's got to be something else we can do.
I have
Different.
a thought that I'll put out. Since we are on television, which we haven't been in the past, and by the way, let me just say, to our many faithful viewers, what else would you watch tonight? I mean, This is fascinating stuff.
Well, Jeopardy's over.
All 5 of them. Thank you.
And we're glad to have you with us.
Probably higher ratings.
But now that we have the power of television, it just seems to me that we might want to consider trying to get a speaker from Cornell Cooperative to talk about issues of the day. I don't know how many of you have seen this insect called the spotted lanternfly. It is one ugly thing, I'll tell you. And it does incredible damage. And it's taken over a major part of eastern Pennsylvania and parts of New Jersey. And so I think we want to be very much aware of that, and if it starts to move in our direction, we'd want to be prepared and have the public prepared. The other thing that we obviously could talk about would be why are we getting so much tree die-off, particularly with the spruce trees? I don't have an answer to that, and I guess if someone would like to volunteer to make contact with Cornell Cooperative, I think that's a question I'd like to ask of them, because I see a great deal of it. It seems like the lower branches of spruce trees are dying off in large numbers. So I don't know the answer. I think we should maybe take on things like that, topics that we all have noticed and would like to bring to public attention and get some expert opinions on, and maybe invite speakers to our meeting who could inform us and the public on these threats to our environment, and certainly there are some. So that was my thought on what we might do for community engagement. I'll open it to anybody else with a thought on that.
Go ahead.
So I belong to the Monroe Community College Sustainability Club, and what we did a few weeks ago, actually, that we had like a bunch of people from like the city of Rochester, the town of Victor, and like other members throughout the community, and we had a forum-based discussion that would range from like if you were like a middle school student all the way to like a PhD in forestry. And we just basically talked about environmental conservation, and like town of Victor was like, oh, we have a trails committee, this is what we do. And so if we want to engage younger age groups, especially, I could always bring up to the MCC sustainability, like, oh, town of Penfield Conservation Board, this is what we do, and this is what we're looking to do in the future.
Write that up. Explain that and send it around.
Okay, so.
As a proposal,
A thought, just
a thought,
what do you
a
think?
thought.
I like the idea. So the EMC, right? Which, so, where was it? It focuses on recycling. So I think you could do some sort of presentation on how to properly recycle, how to compost, that type of nature, to get to zero waste. That's a presentation that can be done.
They have a lot of interesting, the guy that just spoke, I think it wasn't last month, the month before, was from the zoo. And it's amazing what they are involved with that, everyday residents don't know about. So that's another interesting topic. They do a lot of stuff over there.
So the twig giveaway is a nice every once in a while for sure, but when people show up thinking they're getting a tree and they get a twig,
Yeah.
I'd like to see something different as far as outreach and this type of stuff, educating.
Yeah.
Well, it can be a combination of things.
Sure. And I'm not poo-pooing doing the giveaway. I definitely would focus on the shrubs as opposed to little things that people don't know what to do with. So maybe we should just do an email string of ideas and just throw them out there. It's like, put out there what you're speaking of. You could put out there, Roseanne, what you're speaking of.
And Jim, and we could, it doesn't have to be just one guest speaker. We could do a series.
Oh, yeah,
for
absolutely.
a,
Yeah,
a period of
absolutely.
time and see how that goes over and, maybe plan
Yeah,
again.
as
I
I
don't
said,
know
I-
if all these speakers charge or if they do it as part of their own service.
Service would be nice.
Yeah, it would be, because I don't know if we have a budget for
Charging
this.
could be painful.
Well, I think most of them are county employees, like,
Yeah.
I mean, like the recycling and stuff, so they would come.
And I think if you focused or considered, like quarterly, since we're going from 0,
Yeah.
would be ambitious.
Yes?
So let's just be thinking along those lines. So then you have to come up with 4 programs to put out there, and they don't have to be long programs. They can be just 15 minutes of the meeting, right?
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, as I said, I know we have thousands of viewers, maybe tens of thousands of viewers.
Don't undersell us there, Jim.
And more to get. Well, if we want to do it quarterly and it's 2022, then 2022 is upon us. It
So you're
seems,
talking March, June.
okay, I was going to say it's going to be tough to, maybe
It won't
March.
be hard to come up with, to me. The
Yeah.
EMC is dying to do this type of thing. They get together and say, what can we do? What can we do? Well, I think this is a great way for them to get their name out there, too. So that's an easy one. What you're
Sure.
referring to, I don't think is a difficult one. Cornell, I'm sure, would come in and have a conversation. What you're talking about are invasive species, whether it's bugs or plants or algae blooms.
Oops.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's promise to continue our conversation with a few emails back and forth, and
I
we'll see where we
can-
go from there.
I can help you, like, reach out to Cooperative Extension once we're ready to say, I know
Sure.
what I'm talking about, what I'm asking them for,
You know,
so.
let's just challenge people to show up in January with ideas. And not just the idea, but the path.
Sounds good?
Maybe there's something we can do out of these presentations to then coincide with the shrub giveaway. Like just displays of things that somebody would walk through, and it's a culmination of our presentations that we've had to date, and even advertising of what's coming up, if we can get that much together.
That's a really good thought. So we have this tree guideline. Let's promote our tree guideline. Have someone discuss what is a tree guideline, what we're trying to accomplish. That's something that's outreach, right?
Yeah. Would you be interested in combining that? I know, Jim, you mentioned the grant was for urban forests, but it is up to $1,000 of money to basically get trees and supplies and have a public like planting day for Arbor Day, or not on Arbor Day, but sometime in the spring. So maybe that could be combined with the tree giveaway. Like you come plant a tree and you take a shrub home, or you have a tree presentation, someone from Cornell or the Soil and Water District or somebody speak about trees, and then it leads to the planting or the shrub giveaway. Or
I drilled down a little bit on what you sent us.
Okay.
And everything that I saw said urban was the key word there. And-
yeah, I think there's
and-
some of
and
the.
so I really didn't think it was us.
Okay. I think there's like Arundecoit and Greece. I know they're more urban, but I think think they're part of the Tree City. But it can just be a community. It doesn't have to be like a Rochester or a Buffalo. But yeah, it's up to you guys. We can.
Oh, it's a thought. Let's
Funnel it.
bounce them around.
Yeah, we'll put it in there and then.
Well, I don't want to poison the well here with my own opinion, but I truly felt that it was not us. It looked more like a city program, and
Yeah, that's totally fair.
yeah.
But definitely, I saw the.
I did notice that the fellow from Buffalo who's on the Olmsted Parks Commission doesn't know how to spell Olmsted. Because it's clearly named after Frederick Law Olmsted, who has no E or no A in his name anywhere. And they stuck an A in there. So,
It's a bonus letter.
yeah.
But the Soil and Water Conservation District is gearing up for the tree giveaway and the shrub giveaway for next year, so they don't have info right now on pricing or order form, but they're definitely planning to do it again, so that could be our 2022 shrub giveaway.
Yeah, okay. Well, if anyone would like to take a different position from mine on that urban forestation program, please speak up.
So this is something that was distributed to the board. I'm sorry if I didn't see it.
I just shared a link. This link was sent out by the New York State Association of Conservation Commissions. Just something to think about. The application is just due 2 months from roughly now, February 10th,
And it's $1,000.
up to.
This was an email from you.
Yes, it was on the same email as the minutes,
Gotcha.
but it might have gotten lost with my confusion of Zoom or not Zoom for this meeting.
Gotcha.
So the worst they can say is no.
Exactly.
True. But up to you guys, definitely.
That's worth
Not-
looking at.
But I can share the link out again if
Yeah.
you want to just check it out more. And then throw it in the same email as the webinar that's on the gas landscaping.
And why don't you share it again, just
Okay.
so I got lost somewhere along the way.
Yeah, I would encourage all of you, as you look at this, to kind of drill down, and it makes it sound like it's an agency of the state. It's really not. And it's a bunch of volunteers who use the words New York State in their name.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got a little uncomfortable as I read through it, but you see what you think, and
For sure.
we can talk about it again in January.
Is there a $1,000 fee to apply?
It's
No,
not,
just give your
out.
social security number and bank tracking info.
they're looking for members,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's not free,
Understood.
yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay, so let's see, Roseanne, this is your last chance to give us an AMC update.
Well, no, tomorrow's my last meeting.
But I mean, it's your last chance to give us.
Well, she can do it in
Well, yeah,
January
you
based on
can- you can-
tomorrow.
You can give us an update in January, yeah.
afternoon, so I emailed her.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we were supposed to have a meeting tomorrow, but she didn't send out the link for the, because they're still Zooming, so.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't make the last meeting. The meeting before that was about the zoo, like I said. And it was, it's amazing what they do there. They, you just think, I mean, I was just at the zoo a couple months ago, but it's, they do a lot of other projects with kids and for the area and
Yeah.
stuff, so it's pretty interesting. He would be a good speaker. I forget his name, but he was a good speaker.
And you're going to be passing the torch to Bert.
Yes, I am.
And I know the last communication I had with Tony is that Bert is, Tony is really looking forward to Bert's being our representative. So, of course, as Tony leaves us,
Yeah.
He doesn't really care, so.
Could have our new supervisor come
but,
speak
you
with
know,
us.
I don't know what you all did at Tony's party, but I wrote on there that he owes us a golf game in 2022. We could never get him on the course while he had the duties of being our supervisor. So I'll take this opportunity to wish Tony all the best, and we've enjoyed having him as our supervisor. And to all of you thousands who are watching us out there, I would like to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, have a wonderful holiday season, and stay warm, and don't shovel the heavy snow. So, do we have some other business that anyone would like to bring to our attention?
I just have one more clarifying question on meeting time for next year. Daniel, did you know if you're able to do 7 p.m. for meetings, or did you need 7:30 still?
7 will work for next semester.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Back to 7.
Back to 7.
So we're returning to 7, is that what we're
Yes.
doing for next year? 7 sounds good. So do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
And again, to our many thousands, thanks for being with us tonight. Are we out?